You are listening to the Boss Experience Podcast, a podcast with conversations about business growth, self-development, and maintaining a mindset to achieve business success. My name is Michele Davis, and I am a business strategist and coach, and I am your host. Let's get started. Welcome to the Boss Experience, the podcast that helps you turn your expertise into an online coaching business that replaces your 9-to-5 income. My name is Michele Davis, and I am the host. And I'm super excited to be here, not just for another episode, but season 7. This podcast was started back in October of 2021. Here we are, 120 episodes later. I just want to thank everyone that supported the podcast over the years. It's been a great journey, and I've covered a number of topics every season when it comes to starting an online coaching business or an online business, even in general. This season, I'm going to be talking about how to create an effective marketing strategy to get your coaching business launched. And the reason I chose to focus on marketing this season is because everyone struggles when it comes to, getting their voice out there and really making that mark in the online world to the degree that they can attract their coaching clients or people that are interested in their coaching services, as opposed to chasing people and begging people to work with them. Although this season will focus on marketing, marketing is important. I want you to tune in. I want you to take notes. Keep in mind that once you're at the stage of marketing, you need to do a few things first. You need to have your messaging nailed. And your messaging is basically, what are you communicating to people in terms of the outcome or the end result that people get from hiring you as a coach? And you need to know who's your ideal client, who best benefits from that end result that you're offering. That dictates all of your messaging and everything that you do and communicate online. Okay? So the other thing I want to mention, if you haven't already, make sure you grab the Expert Business Launch Planner. You can find it at bossbusinessplanner.com. That's bossbusinessplanner.com. The Expert Business Planner takes you through everything you need to do to get your coaching business to the point of getting launched. And it's going to help you make sense of everything as it relates to getting your coaching business off the ground. So today's episode is going to focus on branding. And branding starts with your visual characteristics. It starts with your voice, your identity, and then being able to integrate all of that online, because most of the time when people think about branding, they think it's all visual. It's my cute logo. It's my colors. I don't want people to spend a lot of time and think they need to spend a lot of money at this stage. You want to have a starting point, and you want to be able to upgrade later on as you establish yourself online and you're generating money for your business. So I don't want you spending hundreds of dollars on a logo. I don't want you spending, a lot of money until you start earning money, and then you have revenue coming in, and then you can upgrade from there. Because one of the mistakes I made is thinking I needed a lot of branding elements. I spent money on things that I really shouldn't have spent money on when I was first getting started. And it was really a waste of time. I bought tools I didn't need. So I don't want you to do that. Let's talk about how to design some visual characteristics and what role they play in your social media efforts. What exactly are visual brand characteristics? Your visual brand characteristics include your coaching program name, your domain name, your social media usernames, your logo, your color palette, your website. And so all of these things allow you to establish essentially an identity online, because that's all branding is. It's creating a footprint, it's creating an identity so that people can see you and hear your message, but also recognize who you are when they see certain elements of of you, whether it's the name of your program, whether it's the domain name that you choose or the logo, the colors, all of those things are super important as people begin to make a connection about who you are. So these visual elements of your brand help potential clients and followers recognize your content. So when they see your content, they're going to know it's you. You want to make sure you're consistent in your name, your look, your feel, your colors. Because if you're not, people are going to be confused and they won't connect what they see with you as a brand. Everything from your social media presence, your website, everything is consistent across the board. And spelling, everything. Because if you have one spelling in your username, if it's different than what they see on your website, people are going to be confused because unlike the in-person world, all people have to go on is what they see online. If you have all these different, names and spellings, and people are going to be confused whether you're the same person they saw, and they'll eventually leave. They're not going to know that it's you. They're not going to know it's the same person they first became aware of on social media. So consistency in the spelling and every way you show up online is really important. And it's so important. Whatever program or course you create actually has an identity. A lot of people create the name for their business, and then it's like they're just doing coaching. You're building a cohesive business that has a name, and under that business name, you have program X or program Y or service X or service Y. So it's super important that you think of yourself as the actual business. So let's start with the naming of your coaching program. You want to really focus on what is this program about and how can you name it in a way that's easy to pronounce so people can understand that this is possibly a program that can help them. You also want to make sure that you vet the name and that it's not used by another company or another business. And the way you do that is by check the domain, you go on social media, you Google it. You want to make sure that you're not using something that's in use already, because if it's in use already, when people search for you, they're going to find that other business. They're not going to find your business. So you want to make sure that whatever name you create is unique to you. And you want to be able to secure all of those things to lock in your name as well. And then the other thing you want to check is make sure the name isn't trademarked. So just like you should have checked and make sure your business name isn't trademarked, you want to make sure that the names of your coaching programs, your courses, none of those are trademarked as well. Regardless of whether you're going to be on a particular platform, you want to make sure whatever name you select, that it's available on social media across the board, all the different platforms. So if you're not going to be on TikTok, you still want to make sure you claim your name on TikTok so that, as your business grows and you move forward, maybe you want to be on TikTok one day. You want to make sure that you can just fall into it and reinvigorate your page or start populating your page with content without trying to, hope and pray you get the name that relates to your business. Because the thing that you want to do is to make sure that, when you showcase your marketing and you're telling people where to find you, you don't want to have a different name for how they find you on TikTok, a different name for how they find you on YouTube, a different name for how they find you on Instagram, or a different name for how they find you on Facebook, because that's going to be too confusing for people. They're not going to look for you that diligently. Eventually, they're going to say, this is too much. Why doesn't she have the same name? And they're going to kind of say, hey, let me move on to the competitor. So make sure you claim the brand name as a domain and your social media handle. Once you have a name for your program, then you want to grab that domain name. And this is something I would advise you to do now. Domains don't cost that much. Maybe, if you get a deal, it's $10 the first year, or, $20. They're fairly inexpensive things to have, but they're super important because your domain is going to be attached to so many things related to your business. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and claim your domain name that you want for your business and that you have all of the pieces in place. So you want to make sure that you have all the social media handles related to that domain name before you finalize that purchase. And you can search domain name availability and purchase your domain at websites like GoDaddy, Namecheap. Google even has a way for you to purchase a domain through them as well. I always tell my clients, the thing is with Gmail is if you use Gmail for your business, especially starting out and you don't really have a presence yet, it makes me cringe as a coach because I'm also thinking, who's going to trust you with a Gmail if they've never seen you before? Gmail is, at gmail.com, that could be anyone. And then if you want people to pay you money, part of establishing a business is making sure you have the appearance of a trustworthy entity. A big part of that is showing up as a professional and having a professional email address. And so you can use your domain to set up your professional email address. And so you just want to make sure that you do that so that people can feel comfortable and confident that you're not a scammer, you're not going to run off with their money, that you're a real person. And this is all about thinking of yourself as an actual business, thinking of yourself as a brand. The next thing you want to do is design your logo for your program. And logos are intended to be a visual identifier for your coaching program. One big piece, especially when you're talking about coaching, is making yourself the face of the brand. People aren't going to do business with a logo. They're going to do business with you, and they want to see you. If you are going to use a logo on your social media page, make sure that your face is all over your feed and that it's very clear who you are. You just want to make sure, especially starting out, that it's clear that you are the face of your brand and that when people see you and see your face, that they know who you are. You can hire someone. Fiverr is very inexpensive. Upwork is a little bit more money. Maybe you're spending like $100. I wouldn't suggest that. And here's why. When you're getting started, you may find out in 6 months you don't really like your name, or 3 months from now, or once you get started and you want to kind of do an overhaul, you want to make sure that you're in love with whatever the name is that you end up, if you're going to spend a lot of money to get a logo design. And just starting out, you don't know what you love yet. You don't have a feel for anything yet. I don't want you spending a lot of time on a website and a logo and you don't have clients. I want you to spend your time on actually marketing, getting clients, and making sure you have the essentials in place to build trust so that people will visit your website to learn more about your brand, to find you, and to purchase from you. So that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. And like I mentioned before, if you need help putting all of this together, make sure you grab the Expert Business Launch Planner at bossbusinessplanner.com. That's bossbusinessplanner.com. That way you can get some support in getting your online coaching business structured and getting your marketing plan developed. And for anyone that purchases the Expert Business Launch Planner, you also get a breakthrough strategy session with me where you and I have a call. We talk about where you are now, where you want to be, and I help you create a customized game plan to get there. But that's only for people that purchase the planner. So head over to bossbusinessplanner.com to grab it now. I'll be covering marketing all throughout season 7. So welcome back. Thanks for sticking with me. And I'm so excited that you have chosen to tune in to the Boss Experience Podcast. New episodes release every Tuesday. So be sure to subscribe and tune in every week. Thank you for tuning in to the Boss Experience Podcast. Don't forget to leave a review for this episode and tune in next time.